Hello students and welcome back. I am Professor Caster and thank you for returning for one of our short courses that breaks down the larger courses into more bite-sized chunks so they're a little bit more accessible instead of trying to go through the war of an entire section. Also, I do apologize if the quality of the sound is a little off from how the intro and outro sound. Those were actually recorded before this setup actually got created, so it should be a little bit quieter, but other than that it should be alright.
Next, we'll move on to Supreme Commander Irusk after his promotion, after success and failure in Lael. The High Command has spoken of Khador Irusk as the Empire's perfect officer, and his accomplishments have impressed warriors of all creeds and nations. He exercises absolute control over his soldiers, even in the chaos of battle. However, his promotion to Supreme Commandment came on the heels of defeat, when served to strengthen his resolve to redeem himself in his sovereign's eyes. Irusk's success has never satisfied him. He remains critical of any plan and constantly seeks to perfect his approach to war. Yet even this habit of frank self-appraisal did not prepare him for the scathing words of the Empress after his initial failure to recapture Northgard in late 606 AR. During the Second Thornwood War, her indignant shamed him more than any other setback in his lengthy military career. During the short leave, he neglected his family home. He realized it was her accusations that he had wasted the lives of his soldiers that troubled him most. As an officer, he had come to measure lives as resources, reducing his compatriots to abstract quantities of force and valuing them too little. Almost like pieces on a tabletop. Uncertain how best to reclaim his honor, Khador Irusk considered falling on his sword, an act that was considered brave death to a disgraced soldier. He found a well-worn cavalry saber among the neglected relics of his father's military career, and it brought to mind forgotten lessons from his gruff sire. A summons from the Empress stayed Irusk's hand, but when he appeared before her, the last thing he expected was that she was promoting him to the rank of Supreme Commandment. Although the ceremony, her eyes bored into him with a message that required no words. His promotion was a challenge, and the Empress would accept nothing less than total victory. Before his march back to Ravensguard, Irusk took his father's old saber in-game and had the mechanics at Rivendell, they always have such hard words to pronounce, Regivna complex set a fine blade into worthy mechanical housing. Irusk wields this weapon as a reminder of his family honor and his promise to deliver victory to the Empress. On his return, he gathered his soldiers to a spot where he stood, illuminated atop the inner ramparts, and told them of the battle to come. Ringing tones in his voice echoed from the sky and quickened the blood in the veins of every listener. A ripple of revitalized enthusiasm spread through the army like a shockwave. When Irusk marched on Northgard for the second time, he did so with the finest force ever assembled by the Khador Empire. He led this army with the meticulousness of an artisan. In a single day, the greatest Signarin fortress in North fell, and with it the Thornwood. Irusk personally raised the Khadoran flag in Northgard, an act that sealed his reputation in the greatest military commander alive. This event stands as one of the high points in his career, one still untarnished by certain unavoidable setbacks and subsequent forays into the Thornwood. During battle, Irusk coordinates the assets of his forces to move with absolute precision, like thousands of interlocking gears. He has demonstrated time and again his ability to think one step ahead of his foes and make unconventional and unexpected decisions that place his soldiers in positions of strength. By his commands, even the worst terrain becomes an advantage. Nonetheless, he must persevere into honing his skills for the wars ahead, since he can never rest until all enemies of the Empire lie broken and submit to the Empress. And that concludes Commander Irusk. He may not be a huge warjack warcaster, but he is definitely a very big infantry warcaster and a phenomenal artillery specialist. I fought alongside of him many times in my career, and well, he's always been a no-nonsense kind of commander, so that's pretty much I can tell you about him.
Alrighty students, well that does it for this short course. And as always, thank you Privateer Press for letting us read your fantastic lore. And as always, your homework is going to be, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know how I'm doing, and share it with your friends and fellow gamers alike so we can increase the class size. And as always, class dismissed.